Hey everyone! Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. It's so great to have you with us today.
Today, we're going to talk about something very useful in everyday English. How to talk about your job. Whether you're meeting new people, going to a job interview, or just chatting with friends, this is something we all do.
That's right. Talking about your job in English can help you connect with others, show your skills, and even open new opportunities, especially if you're working or planning to work in an international environment.
Exactly. And the good news is, you don't need to be an advanced speaker to do it. You just need to know some useful words, simple sentence patterns, and a bit of confidence.
Yes, and in this episode, we'll walk you through everything, from basic job vocabulary to how to answer common questions like, what do you do, or where do you work?
We'll also do some fun role plays to show you how native speakers talk about their jobs in a natural way. So whether you're a student, a teacher, an engineer, or even looking for a job, this episode is for you.
So grab a notebook, relax, and let's get started. You're going to learn how to talk about your job in English with ease and confidence.
So, Julia, let's start by asking, why is it so important to know how to talk about your job in English?
Great question, Jason. I think the simple answer is because it comes up all the time. Whether you're meeting someone new, having a casual conversation, or even going to a job interview, people often ask, what do you do?
That's true. It's one of the first questions we ask when we meet someone, right? Hi, I'm Jason. Nice to meet you. What do you do for work? It's so common.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter where you are, in a coffee shop, at an airport, in a Zoom meeting, someone might ask you about your job. And if you're learning English, it's really helpful to be ready with an answer.
Also, many people learn English to get better jobs or to move abroad. And in those situations, you'll definitely need to talk about your experience, your skills, and what you do at work.
That's right. For example, in a job interview, they might ask, what are your responsibilities? Or tell me about your past work. If you can answer clearly, that's a big plus.
Plus, it helps in networking too. If you go to a conference or an event, it's good to introduce yourself and your work in a confident way. Like, hi, I work in marketing, or I'm a software engineer.
And don't forget, talking about your job can help you practice English every day. You already know your work well, so talking about it in English is a great way to build fluency.
That's a good point. You don't need to learn new ideas, you just need to learn how to express them in English. And when you do that, your confidence grows.
Exactly. So even if you're just learning simple sentences like I work in a hospital or I teach children, it's a great way to start.
So, to everyone listening, don't be shy about talking about your job in English. It's useful, it's practical, and today we'll help you do it with the right vocabulary and phrases.
All right. Coming up next, we'll go over some basic vocabulary for jobs and workplaces to help you begin. So stay with us.
All right. Welcome back. Now, let's talk about some basic vocabulary for jobs and work. This part is super important, especially if you want to describe what you do.
Yes, and we'll keep it simple. First, let's start with some common job titles. These are words you can use to say what your job is.
Okay, here are some examples. Teacher, doctor, engineer, nurse, police officer, driver, chef, student.
Nice list, Jason. And for office jobs, we also have words like manager, assistant, accountant, designer, developer, receptionist.
Right. And if you don't have a job at the moment, you can say, I'm unemployed, or I'm looking for a job. Or if you're not working right now, you can say, I'm between jobs.
Good one. Now let's move on to places where people work. We can say, office, hospital, school, restaurant, shop, factory, company.
Exactly. So if someone asks, "Where do you work?" you can say, "I work in a hospital," or "I work at a school." Let's try a few examples.
Sure. I work in a restaurant. I'm a chef. I work in an office. I'm an accountant. I work at a university. I'm a teacher.
Perfect. Now let's look at verbs, the action words. Here are some useful work-related verbs: work, teach, help, drive, design, build, sell, manage.
Let's give some examples. I teach math at a school. I drive a taxi. I help customers in a shop. I design websites.
That's really helpful. And here are a few more simple words people use when talking about work: job, work, boss, team, hours, salary, office, computer.
For example, my job is interesting. I work from 9 to 5. My boss is kind. I work on a computer all day.
You can also describe your job with adjectives like easy, hard, busy, boring, interesting, fun, stressful. Try this. My job is busy, but fun. Sometimes it's stressful.
These are great ways to express how you feel about your job. So, to our listeners, don't worry if you forget a word. Start small and just practice using simple job words and short sentences.
Yes, the more you use these words, the more natural they will feel. And soon, you'll be able to talk about your job easily in English.
Coming up next, we'll show you how to describe your job in simple, clear sentences. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back. So now that we've learned some basic vocabulary, let's talk about how to put those words into simple sentences. Julia, what's a good way to start?
One of the easiest ways is to say, I work as a, followed by your job title. For example, I work as a teacher. I work as a driver. I work as a nurse. It's a very clear and natural sentence.
Exactly. And if you want to say where you work, you can use I work at or I work in, like I work at a hospital, I work in a school, I work at a bank.
Let's do a mini role play, Jason. I'll ask, what do you do? You answer, I work as a designer. I work at a small company.
Nice. Now I'll ask you, where do you work?
I work in an office. I'm a marketing manager.
Great. Another useful sentence is, I am responsible for. This means you are in charge of something at work. For example, I am responsible for customer service. I am responsible for training new staff.
Yes, it sounds more professional. You can also say, my job is to like. My job is to help people find the right product. My job is to fix machines.
These are super helpful when someone wants to know what exactly you do every day. And don't forget, if your job has many tasks, you can say, I do many things at work. Then you can add examples. I answer emails, schedule meetings, and talk to clients.
That's a good way to show your full role. And here's another tip. Use the present simple tense when you talk about your job. Like, I work, I help, I teach, I drive. Because these are things you do regularly.
Exactly. Let's practice a few more examples together. Julia, how would you describe your job if you were a nurse?
I'd say, I work as a nurse. I work at a hospital. I take care of patients and help doctors.
Perfect. Now I'll try one. I work as a software developer. I work in an IT company. I design and test computer programs.
Very clear. So remember, listeners, start with simple patterns like I work as a, I work at in, I'm responsible for, my job is to.
Practice saying these out loud. Try writing them down using your own job. The more you use them, the more natural they will sound.
Coming up next, we'll show you how to answer common questions about your job in English. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back. So far, we've learned how to describe our job in simple sentences. Now let's practice how to answer common questions that people often ask about jobs.
Yes, these are questions you'll hear in everyday conversation, at social events, or even in interviews. And don't worry, we'll show you how to answer them step by step.
Let's start with the most common one. What do you do? It just means, what is your job?
Right. And a simple way to answer is, I work as for example, I work as a teacher, I work as an electrician, or you can also say, I'm a doctor, I'm a student.
Let's try a quick role play. Julia, ask me the question.
Sure. So, Jason, what do you do?
I work as a graphic designer. I create designs for websites and logos. Now I'll ask you, what do you do, Julia?
I'm a customer service agent. I help customers with their questions and problems.
Perfect. Now, here's another common question. Where do you work? You can say, I work at a hospital. I work in an office. Or even, I work from home.
Yes, these answers are short and natural. Try this one. I work at a bank in the city. I work in a school near my house.
Now, here's a good one. What's your typical day like? This means, what do you usually do during your workday?
And for this question, use the present simple tense. I usually check emails in the morning. Then I talk to customers and help them solve problems. Or I start work at 8 a.m. I teach 3 classes and then do lesson planning.
Want to try one, Julia?
Sure. I start my day by answering emails. Then I have meetings and work on projects. I finish work around 5 p.m.
That's a great example. Another question you might hear is, do you like your job?
Easy answers could be, yes, I do. I enjoy helping people. Or, it's a little stressful, but I like it. Even, not really, but I'm looking for a new opportunity.
Nice and honest. And here's one more question. How long have you been doing this job? You can say, I've been working here for 2 years. I started this job last year. I've been a nurse for 5 years.
So, listeners, now it's your turn. Try answering these questions at home. What do you do? Where do you work? What's your typical day like? Do you like your job? How long have you done this job?
You can write down your answers or say them out loud. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. Every time you practice, you get better.
Coming up next, we'll go deeper into how to talk about your daily tasks at work using simple verbs and expressions. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, friends. Now that we've talked about how to describe your job and answer common questions, let's go one step further. Let's talk about your daily tasks.
Yes, this means what do you do every day at work? These are your regular duties or activities. It's a great way to give people more information about your job.
And don't worry, you don't need big words. Just use simple verbs in the present tense. Let's look at some useful verbs you can use to talk about tasks.
Here are some common ones: send, check, write, answer, talk, help, clean, drive, fix, make, teach, call.
Great list. And to talk about how often you do something, you can use adverbs of frequency like always, usually, sometimes, often, never.
Let's try some examples. Jason, what do you do every day?
Here's one. I usually start my day by checking emails. Then I design graphics for websites. I sometimes have meetings with clients in the afternoon.
Nice. I'll try one too. I help customers with their questions. I answer phone calls and write reports. I usually finish work around 6 p.m.
Very good. Let's give more examples for different jobs. For a teacher, I teach English to young students. I prepare lessons and check homework.
For a driver, I drive a bus in the city. I usually start work at 6 a.m. and drive until 2 p.m.
And for someone who works in a restaurant, I take orders from customers. I serve food and clean tables. I sometimes help in the kitchen.
These are great. You can also say, my job includes or I'm in charge of, like, my job includes answering emails and making schedules. I'm in charge of social media for the company.
And remember, use short, clear sentences like, I talk to people, I help my team, I make products.
So, listeners, think about your own job. What are 3 things you do every day? Say them in English like this. I usually, I sometimes, every day, I.
You can even write them down or practice saying them with a friend. And if you don't have a job yet, you can practice with a job you want to have.
Coming up next, we'll show you how to talk about your past jobs or work experience, so stay with us.
Welcome back. In this part, we're going to learn how to talk about past jobs or work experience in English.
Yes, this is important for job interviews, writing a CV, or just sharing your work history in conversation.
Exactly. And the good news is, it's simple. You just need to use the past tense. Let's start with some basic phrases.
One very common phrase is, I used to work as a, for example, I used to work as a waiter. I used to work as a cashier in a supermarket.
That's a great way to talk about something you did before. You can also say, I worked at or I worked in. For example, I worked at a hospital for 3 years. I worked in a bank when I lived in Kabul.
Here's another useful phrase. I was responsible for. This is good for describing what you did in that job. I was responsible for training new employees. I was responsible for managing the front desk.
Let's do a quick role play, Julia. I'll ask, what did you do before this job?
I used to work in a clothing store. I helped customers and managed the cashier. Now I'll ask you, what was your last job, Jason?
I worked as a tour guide. I showed visitors around the city and explained the history.
Very nice. You can also talk about how long you worked at your past job. I worked there for 2 years. I had that job for 6 months.
And remember, keep it simple. Use these phrases. I used to work as a I worked at Chat in I was responsible for I had that job for.
So to our listeners, think of a past job you had. Try saying, I used to work as a, and add what you did. It's a great way to practice using past tense in English.
Coming up next, we'll help you talk about your future career goals in English. Stay with us. Welcome back. So far, we've talked about your current job, daily tasks, and even your past work experience. Now, let's look into the future. How to talk about your career goals in English?
Yes, whether you're a student, starting your career, or planning a change, it's good to know how to say what you want to do in the future.
And don't worry, it's simple. You can use phrases like, I want to, I hope to, or I'm going to.
For example, I want to become a doctor. I hope to work in a big company. I'm going to study business next year.
Let's try a few more. Julia, what's a future goal you can share?
I want to improve my English so I can work abroad, or I hope to get a job in marketing. How about you, Jason?
I'd say, I'm going to start my own business one day. I want to be a team leader in the future.
These are great examples. You can also say, someday I'd like to, someday I'd like to teach English online.
So, to everyone listening, take a minute and think, what's your dream job? What do you want to do next year? Try saying, I want to, I hope to, I'm going to.
And remember, your goals can be big or small. The important thing is to practice saying them in English. That builds confidence and clarity.
Coming up next, we'll teach you some useful phrases for interviews and networking, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now let's talk about some useful phrases you can use in job interviews or when you're networking. That means meeting people to talk about work or business.
Yes, these are phrases that help you sound more professional and confident. Let's start with a few for interviews.
One of the most common phrases is, I have experience in. For example, I have experience in customer service. I have experience in managing teams.
Another good one is, I'm good at, this helps you talk about your strengths. I'm good at solving problems. I'm good at working with people.
And don't forget, my strengths are communication and teamwork.
Here's a great phrase for showing your attitude. I'm a fast learner, or I enjoy learning new things.
That's perfect for beginners. Now let's look at some simple phrases for networking. Talking to people at events, conferences, or even online.
You can say, I work in marketing. What about you? Or, I'm looking for new opportunities.
And here's a nice way to show interest. Tell me more about what you do. Or, it's great to connect with professionals like you.
These phrases are short but powerful. They help you sound friendly and confident, even if your English isn't perfect.
So, to our listeners, try using just 2 or 3 of these phrases the next time you talk about work or go to an interview.
Coming up next, we're going to have a fun mini role play to show how these phrases work in a real conversation.
Welcome back! Now it's time for a fun part, a mini role play, where Julia and I will have a natural conversation about our jobs. This will help you hear how people talk about their work in real life.
Yes, this is a great way to practice. Jason, I'll start by asking you some common questions.
Sounds good. Go ahead.
Hi, Jason, what do you do?
Hi, Julia. I work as a software developer at a tech company. I design and test computer programs.
That sounds interesting. What does a typical day look like for you?
Well, I usually start by checking emails and messages. Then I write code for new features and fix any bugs.
Cool. How long have you been doing this job?
I've been working as a developer for 3 years now. What about you, Julia? What do you do?
I'm a customer service agent. I help customers with questions and solve their problems.
Nice! Where do you work?
I work at a large call center in the city.
What are some daily tasks you do?
I answer phone calls, reply to emails, and sometimes help train new employees.
Do you like your job?
Yes, I do. I enjoy talking to people and helping them. Do you have any future goals?
Yes! I want to become a team leader and work on bigger projects.
That's great. I hope to improve my English and maybe become a supervisor one day.
Thanks for the chat, Julia. This was a good practice for all our listeners.
Yes, thanks everyone for listening. Now it's your turn to try talking about your job like this.
Welcome back. Now that we've practiced talking about jobs, let's share some tips to help you practice speaking about your job in English.
Yes, the first tip is to practice speaking out loud. Don't just think about the sentences, say them. You can do this alone, in front of a mirror, or with a friend.
Good point. Another tip is to record yourself. Listen to the recording and you can hear how you sound. This helps you notice mistakes and improve your pronunciation.
And if you can, find a speaking partner or tutor to practice with. It's great to get feedback and real conversation experience.
Also, try to use new words and phrases you learn every day. For example, when you learn new job vocabulary, use it when you talk or write about your work.
Don't worry about making mistakes. Making mistakes is a normal part of learning. The more you practice, the better you get.
And finally, try to think in English when you talk about your job. This helps you speak more naturally without translating from your language.
That's a great tip, Jason. So remember, speak out loud, record yourself, practice with others, use new words, and don't fear mistakes.
Keep practicing, and soon you'll feel confident talking about your job in English.
Coming up next, the final part of today's episode with some motivation and final thoughts.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode on how to talk about your job in English. We hope you found it helpful.
Yes, remember, talking about your job is something you can practice every day. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow. Every step you take is progress.
And try to use what you learned today when you meet new people or practice English. Even a small sentence is a big step forward.
We'd love to hear from you. Share your job in English in the comments or send us a message. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you next time on English Learning Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you all.
Today, we're talking about a really interesting topic: how to turn your weaknesses into strengths. We all have weaknesses, right, Julia?
Absolutely, Jason. No one is perfect, and everyone has something they wish they could improve. But here's the good news. Those weaknesses can actually become our strengths.
Exactly. So today, we're going to explore why recognizing weaknesses is important, how we can learn from them, and ways to turn them into strengths. Let's start by talking about why it's so important to be aware of our weaknesses. Julia, what do you think?
I think knowing our weaknesses is the first step to improving ourselves. If we don't know what we're not good at, we can't make changes, right?
That's so true. Being aware of our weaknesses helps us understand ourselves better. It's like finding out what's holding us back. And when we know that, we can start working on it.
Yes. For example, let's say you're not confident when speaking in public. Instead of ignoring it, you can face it and practice. Over time, you can become a better speaker.
Great example. And that brings us to the next point: learning from our weaknesses. Julia, do you think there's something we can learn from our weaknesses?
Definitely, Jason. Weaknesses can be powerful teachers. They show us where we need to grow. And sometimes they reveal skills we didn't even know we had.
Absolutely. Weaknesses give us a chance to grow. For example, if someone is not very organized, they can start learning small habits like making a to-do list every day. Little by little, they'll improve and develop a new skill.
That's a great point, Jason. And it's all about taking small steps. Changing a weakness into a strength doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and effort.
Exactly! And sometimes we need to change our perspective too. Weaknesses don't mean failure. They're simply areas where we can improve. And that's empowering, isn't it?
It really is. Let's think of weaknesses as opportunities, not obstacles. This positive mindset can really help us turn those weaknesses around.
I love that. Seeing weaknesses as opportunities can make a big difference. So, Julia, let's give some practical tips for our listeners. What's one way to start working on a weakness?
One good way is to focus on one weakness at a time. Trying to fix everything all at once can be overwhelming. Start small. Maybe choose one thing to improve each month.
Great tip. And once you choose a weakness to work on, set realistic goals. Don't expect to be perfect right away. Start with small, achievable steps.
Yes, and be patient with yourself. Change takes time, so it's important to be kind and keep going, even if you don't see big changes right away.
Absolutely. Another helpful tip is to ask for feedback. Sometimes others can see our strengths and weaknesses more clearly than we can. Getting feedback can help us understand where we need to improve.
That's true. And remember, feedback isn't criticism. It's a tool to help us grow. Be open to it and use it to make positive changes.
I love that, Julia. Feedback is a gift if we're willing to learn from it. Now, what about turning weaknesses into strengths? Do you have any ideas on how to do that?
Yes. One way to turn a weakness into a strength is to practice consistently. For example, if you're shy, try speaking up a little more each day. Over time, that shyness can turn into confidence.
That's such a great point. Consistent practice makes a big difference. And don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. That's where real growth happens.
Exactly. Also, sometimes a weakness can become a strength when you find the right environment. Maybe you're not great at math, but you're creative with ideas. In a creative field, that weakness isn't a problem at all.
So true. We all have different skills, and sometimes a weakness in one area is a strength in another. It's all about finding the right fit for our talents.
Right. And one more tip is to celebrate progress. Even small improvements deserve recognition. This keeps us motivated to keep working on our weaknesses.
I agree, Julia. Celebrating small wins keeps us going and reminds us that we're moving forward. Turning weaknesses into strengths is a journey, and every step matters.
Absolutely. And remember, listeners, don't let weaknesses hold you back. With time, effort, and the right mindset, you can turn them into strengths.
That's right. Weaknesses are just areas for growth, and every step you take toward improvement makes you stronger. Thank you, Julia, for all the great tips and insights today. Before we go, let's quickly review the key points from today's episode. First, remember that recognizing your weaknesses is the first step to turning them into strengths.
Yes, and once you know your weaknesses, learn from them. Weaknesses can be great teachers, showing us where we need to improve and grow.
Absolutely. Then it's important to set small, realistic goals for improvement. Start with one weakness at a time and take it slow.
And don't forget to ask for feedback. Others can give us valuable insights that we may not see ourselves. Plus, feedback helps us stay on track.
Right. Also, consistent practice is essential. When you work on a weakness regularly, it can turn into a strength over time. Practice makes a big difference.
Definitely. And sometimes, a weakness might not even be a real problem. It could just be that you haven't found the right environment for your skills. So try to find where your unique abilities fit best.
Great point, Julia. And last but not least, always celebrate your progress, even if it's small. Acknowledging each step forward keeps you motivated and positive.
Exactly. Remember, growth is a journey, and every small step counts. Turning a weakness into a strength takes time, but it's always worth it.
Well said, Julia. And, listeners, don't be discouraged if it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals.
That's right, Jason. Each of us has strengths and weaknesses, but what matters is how we approach them. With the right mindset, any weakness can be transformed into a strength.
Absolutely! Thanks again for tuning in to today's episode of Personal Growth Talks podcast. We hope you found these tips helpful and inspiring.
And remember, we believe in you. No matter where you're starting from, you can make positive changes and grow. Just take it one step at a time.
We're so glad to have you with us on this journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a comment and let us know what you'd like us to talk about next.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We have many more personal growth topics coming up just for you.
That's right. Until next time, keep working on turning those weaknesses into strengths. You're doing great, and we're here to support you.
Thank you, Jason. And thank you, listeners, for joining us on this journey of personal growth.
Yes! Thank you, everyone. If you found this episode helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And remember, every challenge is a chance to grow. We'll see you next time. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host.
And I'm Julia. We're so happy you're here with us today. If you're someone who wants to speak English more fluently and naturally, this episode is just for you.
That's right. Today, we're going to talk all about how to improve your English speaking fluency. This is one of the most common goals for English learners around the world, and also one of the most important.
Absolutely. Speaking fluently means you can express your thoughts clearly without pausing too much or getting stuck. You don't have to be perfect, but you do want to be confident and smooth when you speak.
In this episode, we're going to break it all down for you. We'll talk about what fluency really means, what usually stops learners from speaking fluently, and, of course, some very practical tips to help you speak better English starting today.
And we'll also do some fun fluency building exercises together, so make sure you listen till the end. And if you can, practice along with us.
All right, let's get started. First up, what exactly is speaking fluency? So let's start with a very important question. What exactly is speaking fluency?
Good question, Jason. A lot of people think fluency means speaking perfect English with no mistakes. But actually, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about speaking smoothly and easily, without too many long pauses.
Exactly. You don't need to know every grammar rule or use fancy words. Fluency means you can keep the conversation going, you can express your ideas clearly and naturally.
Think of it like this. When you're fluent, your words flow like water in a river. It's okay if there are a few small rocks in the water. That's like making small mistakes, but the water keeps moving.
That's a great example, Julia. Now, fluency is different from accuracy. Accuracy means using correct grammar and vocabulary. Fluency is about the speed and flow of your speech.
And for most conversations, fluency is more important than accuracy. People care more about understanding you than about your grammar being perfect.
Let's give an example. Imagine someone says, "Yesterday I go to market. I buy apples." Now, that's not perfect grammar. It should be, "I went to the market and bought apples." But you understand what they're saying, right?
Exactly. And the person said it quickly and confidently so it still sounds fluent. That's what we want. Clear, confident communication.
So, to all our listeners, don't wait until your English is perfect. Start speaking now. The more you practice, the better your fluency will become.
Yes, fluency comes from practice, not from just reading grammar books. And we're going to help you do that today.
All right. Now that we know what fluency is, let's talk about what makes it hard. What stops people from becoming fluent? Now that we understand what fluency means, let's talk about something really important. What stops people from speaking fluently?
Yes, because many learners want to be fluent, but they feel stuck. Let's look at some common obstacles. Maybe you've experienced some of these too.
The first big one is fear of making mistakes. Many people are afraid to speak because they don't want to sound wrong or be laughed at.
That's so true. But remember, making mistakes is part of learning. Even native speakers make small mistakes all the time. The key is to keep going.
Exactly. Mistakes show that you're learning and growing, so don't let fear stop you.
The second obstacle is a lack of vocabulary. When you don't know enough words, it's hard to say what you want.
But here's the good news. You don't need a huge vocabulary to speak fluently. You just need to use the words you do know well and build from there.
Right. And using simple words clearly is much better than using difficult words incorrectly.
The third common problem is thinking in your native language and then translating into English.
Yes, and that slows you down. Your brain has to stop, translate, and then speak. That can make your sentences sound unnatural.
To become fluent, you want to start thinking in English. We'll talk more about how to do that later in the episode.
Another big challenge is a lack of speaking practice. Many learners study grammar or reading, but they don't actually practice speaking.
Yes, speaking is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it won't grow. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
And the last obstacle is self-doubt and low confidence. Many learners feel shy, embarrassed, or tell themselves, "I'm not good enough."
Please don't say that to yourself. Confidence comes with practice. Everyone starts somewhere. Even the best English speakers were beginners once.
That's so important, Jason. So if you're listening right now and you faced any of these problems, you're not alone. We've all been there.
And the good news is, we're going to help you break through those obstacles with some practical tips you can use every day.
So let's get into it. How can you actually improve your speaking fluency?
All right, let's get into the heart of today's episode, practical tips to help you become more fluent in English.
Yes, these are simple things you can do every day, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. Let's start with one of our favorites.
Tip number 1. Practice speaking English every single day. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference.
That's right. You don't need a partner. You can talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, say your thoughts out loud, or talk to your mirror.
Another great technique is called shadowing. That means listening to a short sentence from a video or podcast and repeating it right after the speaker, almost like an echo.
Yes, it helps you learn the rhythm, pronunciation, and natural speed of native speakers. Start with one sentence at a time, repeat, and shadow again.
And don't worry if it feels weird at first. That just means you're building new habits.
Tip number 2, start thinking in English. This helps you stop translating in your head, which slows you down.
Exactly. Start with small thoughts. For example, instead of thinking, "I need to drink water," in your language, say it in English. In your mind, "I need to drink water."
You can also try this when walking, cooking, or even brushing your teeth. Just describe what you're doing in English.
It may feel silly, but it really works over time. You'll begin to speak more naturally without stopping to translate.
Tip 3. Learn useful phrases, not just individual words. Fluency comes from using natural expressions.
Right. For example, instead of just knowing the word hungry, learn the full phrase, "I'm really hungry." Let's get something to eat.
Or instead of learning tired, learn "I'm feeling tired today, I didn't sleep well last night."
These are called chunks or collocations, and they help you sound more fluent and confident.
Tip number 4. Imitate native speakers. Watch English movies, YouTube videos or podcasts, and copy how they speak.
Yes, focus on their intonation, pronunciation, and try repeating a scene from your favorite show. Say it with the same emotion and tone.
It's not just about the words, it's about how they say the words. You'll learn to speak more naturally.
And you can pause the video, repeat the line, and even record yourself to compare.
And that brings us to tip number 5, record yourself speaking. This is one of the most powerful tools to build fluency.
Pick a topic, like your day, your favorite food, or your weekend plans, and talk about it for 1 or 2 minutes. Then listen to the recording.
You'll hear your pronunciation, your speed, and areas where you can improve. Over time, you'll also notice your progress.
So to review, speak every day, think in English, learn full phrases, copy native speakers, and record yourself.
If you do even just 1 or 2 of these every day, your fluency will grow so much faster.
Up next, we're going to practice a few of these with you. Get ready for some fun and simple fluency exercises. Now it's time for one of our favorite parts of the show, fluency building exercises. These will help you put everything we talked about into action.
Yes, if you're listening right now, join us and practice out loud. Don't be shy. Even if you're alone, the more you speak, the more fluent you'll become.
All right, here's the first exercise. It's called Quick Descriptions. We'll give you something to describe, and you try to speak about it for 30 seconds. Ready?
Okay, here's your first topic. What did you do yesterday? Take a deep breath and start speaking now. We'll give you a few seconds of quiet to talk.
Great job! Don't worry if you paused or repeated words. Just keep practicing.
Here's your second topic. Describe your favorite food. Go ahead, say it out loud in English.
Awesome! You can do this every day with different topics. Your room, your hobby, your family. It's a great way to train your fluency muscle.
Now for exercise 2. Build full sentences using natural phrases. We'll give you a phrase. You finish the sentence.
Here's the first one. I'm really looking forward to. What are you looking forward to?
Great. Now try this one. The last time I felt nervous was when. Can you complete that sentence out loud?
You can write these phrases down and create your own sentences every day. It will help your fluency grow fast.
And finally, let's try a little shadowing. That means repeating what we say at the same time or right after us.
Let's try it with a short conversation. First, listen to it. Then we'll repeat it slowly for you to shadow. Hey, how was your weekend?
It was great. I went hiking with some friends.
That sounds fun. Where did you go?
We went to the mountains. The view was amazing. Okay, now repeat with us. Ready?
Hey, how was your weekend?
It was great. I went hiking with some friends.
That sounds fun. Where did you go?
We went to the mountains. The view was amazing.
Nice work. Do this kind of shadowing with podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos. It's a powerful way to sound more fluent.
That was fun, wasn't it? And remember, you can repeat these exercises anytime.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to stay motivated on your journey to fluency, even when progress feels slow. Now, let's take a moment to talk about something really important: motivation. Learning to speak English fluently takes time, effort, and patience. But you're not alone.
Exactly. Many learners around the world have faced the same challenges, and they succeeded. Let's share a few short stories of real learners who made amazing progress.
First, let's talk about Ahmed from Egypt. He started learning English by watching cartoons and YouTube videos, just 20 minutes a day.
At first, he was shy and afraid to speak, but he made it a daily habit to describe his day in English. After 6 months, he was speaking confidently in online English meetups.
His secret? Consistency. Even on busy days, he practiced for just 10 minutes, and it paid off.
Now meet Lila from Brazil. She used to translate every sentence in her head before speaking, and it made her nervous.
So she started thinking in English and using short phrases like, "I'm not sure," or "let me think." Slowly, her fluency improved.
Now she even teaches basic English to kids in her neighborhood. Amazing, right?
And finally, Raj from India. He recorded himself speaking every week for 1 year.
He said the first few recordings were hard to listen to, but over time he noticed real progress. Better grammar, better pronunciation, more confidence.
Raj says, "Don't be afraid to sound silly. Be proud of your effort." That's how fluency begins.
These learners didn't have perfect English, but they had passion and persistence.
And so do you. If they can do it, you can too. Your fluency is just around the corner, one step at a time. As we wrap up today's episode, let's cover some quick do's and don'ts to help you stay on track and keep improving your fluency.
First, let's talk about the do's. These are things you should definitely do if you want to improve your fluency.
Do practice speaking every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is key.
Do make English a part of your daily life. Listen to podcasts, watch English shows, and try to use English whenever you can.
Do focus on communication, not perfection. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just keep speaking.
And most importantly, do stay positive and keep track of your progress. Celebrate small wins.
Now, let's look at a few don'ts things to avoid on your fluency journey.
Don't compare yourself to others. Every learner is on their own path. Focus on your progress.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process. Remember, no one speaks perfectly 100% of the time.
Don't stop practicing just because you feel like you're not improving fast enough. Fluency takes time. It's about persistence.
And finally, don't let fear of speaking hold you back. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
So, follow these do's and avoid the don'ts, and you'll definitely keep moving towards fluent English.
That's all for today's episode of Improve Your English Speaking Fluency. Thanks for joining us.
Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, you're doing great.
Before we end today's episode, let's do a quick recap. We covered a lot today, from what speaking fluency really means, to practical exercises, and real learner stories.
Yes, and remember, practice daily, focus on communication, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Fluency comes with time and persistence.
If you have any questions or want to share your progress, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening and keep speaking. See you in the next episode.
Before we wrap up, we want to encourage you to take action today. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode.
Also, if you're serious about improving your fluency, consider checking out our other episodes, and feel free to share this podcast with a friend who's learning English too.
Leave us a review and let us know what topics you want us to cover next. Your feedback helps us create better content for you.
Thanks for listening to Improve Your English Speaking Fluency. We'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing and keep growing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Personal Growth Talks podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Today, we're talking about something really important: how to stay positive during difficult times. Life isn't always easy, right, Julia?
That's true, Jason. We all go through hard times like losing a job, having problems in relationships, or feeling alone. But staying positive can really help us feel stronger inside.
Yes, and when we talk about being positive, we don't mean ignoring your problems. It's about how you face them. Do you give up, or do you try to find a little hope?
Exactly. A positive mindset doesn't mean you're always smiling. It means you believe things can get better even when they're hard right now.
And research shows that people who stay positive in tough situations often recover faster, feel less stress, and make better choices.
That's powerful. And here's something else: being positive doesn't mean doing it alone. You can get support from others, talk to someone, or even listen to podcasts like this one.
Yes, that's why we're here to help you through the difficult moments and remind you that you're not alone.
In this episode, we'll share stories, give you practical tips, and talk about simple things you can do every day to stay hopeful even when life is hard.
So let's get started, and remember, no matter what's happening in your life, there's always a small step you can take to feel better.
Stay with us because the best is yet to come.
Let's be honest, Julia, when life gets hard, it's easy to feel like giving up.
Yes, Jason. When we face problems like money issues, health problems, or emotional pain, it can feel like there's no way out.
And sometimes people think, if I stay positive, does that mean I have to pretend everything is okay?
No, not at all. Being positive doesn't mean you hide your feelings. It means you face the truth, but you don't stop trying.
That's the key. First, you have to recognize the challenge. Say to yourself, yes, this is a hard time. It hurts. It's not easy.
But then you take a deep breath and say, okay, I won't give up. I'll do my best, one step at a time.
Right. You don't have to solve everything in one day. Even a small step forward is progress.
Exactly. And if you fall, it's okay. Stand up again. Difficult times are not forever. They come and go like seasons.
I love that, like seasons. Winter can be cold and dark, but spring always comes after.
And sometimes, Jason, we grow the most during our hardest times. We learn who we are. We discover strength we didn't know we had.
That's so true. Some people think being strong means never feeling sad. But real strength is saying, I feel sad, but I still believe things can get better.
And for our listeners, we want to say, you are stronger than you think. Just by listening to this podcast, you are choosing growth.
So remember, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel tired. But don't stop. Keep going. Keep believing in your future.
You've already made it this far. You can keep moving forward, one step, one moment at a time.
All right. Now, let's talk about something really powerful, your mindset and how you talk to yourself.
Yes, mindset means the way you think about things, and it has a big effect on how you feel and what you do.
Exactly. If you have a negative mindset, you might say things like, I can't do this, or nothing ever works for me.
But if you have a positive mindset, you say, this is hard, but I'll try, or I believe I can find a way.
And that's where self-talk comes in. Self-talk means the words you say to yourself in your head, or sometimes out loud.
Right. Some people don't even notice their self-talk, but those little words you say to yourself every day can lift you up or pull you down.
Let's give a quick example. Imagine you make a mistake at work. A negative voice might say, I'm so stupid. But a positive voice says, okay, I made a mistake, but I can learn from it.
Big difference, right? The words are simple, but the feeling is very different.
That's why it's important to catch your negative thoughts and change them. It's like talking to a friend. You wouldn't tell your friend, you're useless. So don't say that to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Say things like, I'm doing my best, or every day I'm getting stronger. Even small words can change your mood.
And when you repeat those good thoughts again and again, your mind starts to believe them. That's the power of positive self-talk.
You start to feel more hope, more confidence, and more energy to keep going even when life is tough.
And here's a simple trick for our listeners. Every morning, say one kind thing to yourself. Just one. Like, I'm proud of myself for trying.
And every night before bed say, I did my best today. These little habits can slowly change your whole mindset.
So, remember, your thoughts have power. Speak to yourself with love, with patience, and with courage.
You're listening right now, and that means you're already growing. You're already changing your mindset.
Keep going. Your mind can be your biggest helper if you train it to be kind. Now that we've talked about mindset, let's talk about action, small daily habits that help you stay strong and positive during difficult times.
Yes, many people think they need to do something big to feel better, but often it's the small things done every day that make the biggest difference.
Exactly. Let's start with a simple one. Make your bed every morning.
It sounds small, but it gives your day a fresh start. It says, today, I choose order and care.
Another habit? Drink water first thing in the morning. It wakes up your body and helps your brain work better.
Here's one I love. Take 5 minutes to stretch or walk. Just moving your body even a little helps reduce stress and lifts your mood.
And don't forget writing down your thoughts. A journal is a great place to release your emotions. You can write, today was hard, but I'm still standing.
That's a powerful one. And what about gratitude? Every day, write down one thing you are thankful for. It could be your family, the sunshine, or even this podcast.
Yes, gratitude changes your focus. Instead of thinking only about what's wrong, you start noticing what's good, even if it's small.
Here's another easy habit. Turn off your phone for 30 minutes. Just sit quietly, think, breathe, rest your mind.
That's so important in today's noisy world. Silence gives you peace.
Also, talk to someone you trust. Even a 2-minute message to a friend can give your heart a lift.
And here's a great tip for our listeners. Make a positivity list. Write down 5 small habits that make you feel better. Then try to do at least 2 of them every day.
Yes. For example, drink water, stretch, listen to music, smile at yourself in the mirror, say one kind word to yourself.
These aren't hard things, but when you do them every day, they build strength in your mind and heart.
And the best part? You don't have to be perfect. If you forget one day, it's okay. Just try again tomorrow.
That's the key: consistency, not perfection. Small steps, done often, create big change over time.
So remember, even during your hardest days, you can still do one small thing to take care of yourself.
Yes, and those small things, they keep you going. They keep your spirit alive. Now let's dive into something that seems small, but is very powerful: gratitude.
Yes, gratitude is the feeling of being thankful. Even when life is hard, we can still find something to be thankful for.
You might be thinking, but Jason, how can I feel thankful when everything is going wrong?
That's a fair question, and the truth is, you don't have to pretend things are okay. Gratitude is not about ignoring pain. It's about noticing what's still good, even in the middle of pain.
Exactly. Maybe today was stressful, but maybe the sun came out, or a friend sent you a kind message, or you had a warm cup of tea.
Those little things matter. Gratitude helps you focus on what you do have instead of what you've lost.
Let me share something personal. A few years ago, I was feeling lost. Work was hard, I had no energy, and I felt stuck. But I started a gratitude journal, just one sentence every night.
That's such a great idea. What kinds of things did you write?
Sometimes it was big, like I'm thankful for my family. But often it was simple. I'm grateful I got through the day. Or, I saw a little bird on my window today.
So beautiful. And what happened?
Slowly, my mind started to change. I began noticing more good things during the day. Gratitude trained my brain to look for hope.
I love that. And you don't need a fancy notebook, right? Just a piece of paper or even your phone.
Yes, or just saying it out loud. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for one more day to try. I'm grateful for this quiet moment.
Gratitude doesn't remove your problems, but it gives you strength to face them with a better heart.
And research agrees. Studies show that people who practice gratitude feel less stress, sleep better, and even feel less pain.
That's amazing. And gratitude also makes us kinder to others. When we're thankful, we want to share that feeling with the people around us.
Yes, and that creates a beautiful circle. You feel thankful, so you give kindness. That kindness helps others feel thankful too.
So here's a simple challenge for our listeners. For the next 7 days, write or say 3 things you're grateful for every day.
They can be small or big. Just be honest. You'll start to see your world with different eyes.
Even in dark times, there is always a little light. Gratitude helps you find it.
And once you find that light, you can hold on to it, and it will help guide you through. All right, Julia, we've talked about gratitude, mindset, and habits. Now let's talk about something really important: the people around us.
Yes, the people in your life can either lift you up or pull you down. That's why we say, surround yourself with positive influences.
Exactly. When you're going through tough times, the last thing you need is someone who always complains or makes you feel worse.
That's true. We all have people in our lives who are negative. Maybe they don't mean to be, but they always focus on problems, not solutions.
And that can affect your energy. Sometimes, just one conversation with a negative person can leave you feeling tired or discouraged.
But the good news is you can choose who you spend your time with. Find people who give you hope, who listen, who support you.
Positive people don't have to be perfect, but they believe in moving forward. They smile. They care. They remind you of your strength.
And sometimes those positive influences can come from simple places, a podcast like this, a book, a kind teacher, or a supportive friend.
Yes, even online there are communities, videos, and pages full of kindness and encouragement. You just have to look for them.
Here's something to try. Think about the 3 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do they lift me up or do they drain my energy?
That's powerful. And if someone in your life is always negative, it's okay to take a step back. You don't have to be rude, just protect your peace.
You can still care about them, but you don't have to carry their negativity every day.
And also be that positive person for others. Say kind words, offer support, listen with love.
Yes, the more you give positive energy, the more you'll attract it back into your life.
So, remember, difficult times are easier when you're not alone. Surround yourself with people and voices that help you feel stronger, not weaker.
And if you don't have many people like that in your life right now, don't worry. Start by being one for yourself. Speak kindly, act kindly, and the right people will come.
You deserve to feel supported. You deserve to feel encouraged. And you can start creating that environment today. You know, Julia, sometimes the best way to understand something is to hear a real story.
Absolutely. Real stories show us that we're not alone, that others have also faced tough times and found a way through.
Let me start with a story from my own life. A few years ago, I lost my job. It was a hard time. I felt worried, embarrassed, and a little scared.
That's tough, Jason. What helped you stay positive?
At first, I felt stuck. But then I started a small habit every morning. I went for a walk. I also made a rule: no negative self-talk. I told myself, you're still learning. You still have value.
That's powerful. Sometimes small routines keep us from falling apart.
Yes. After a few weeks, my mind was clearer. I updated my skills, applied for new jobs, and slowly things began to change. It wasn't easy, but I stayed positive by focusing on what I could control.
Thank you for sharing that. I had a similar experience during a time of illness. I was very sick for a few months and I couldn't do many things I loved.
That must have been really hard.
It was. But I started writing 1 sentence a day in a notebook, just one. Sometimes I wrote, "Today I was able to eat," or "I heard a bird sing outside." It helped me stay connected to hope.
That's beautiful. It shows how even in pain we can still choose light.
And I want to share one more short story. This one's from a student of mine. She was new to the country, learning English, feeling very alone. But every day she listened to one podcast, practiced one new word, and smiled at one person.
Just one word, one smile that's so inspiring.
Yes. After a few months, she made new friends, joined a study group, and became more confident. She said, "I didn't wait for a big change. I just kept moving one tiny step at a time."
That's the heart of staying positive. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward, even slowly.
If you're listening to this right now, maybe you are also going through something difficult, but your story isn't over yet. You're still here. You're still trying.
And that, in itself, is something to be proud of. We've talked a lot about mindset, habits, and stories. Now, let's give our listeners some practical tips they can use every day to stay positive even during tough times.
Yes, These are simple things, but if you do them often, they can really help your mind and heart feel stronger.
All right. Tip number 1. Start your day with one positive sentence. You can say, "Today is a new chance," or "I will do my best." It sets the tone for the day.
Tip 2. Take deep breaths. When you feel stressed, stop for a moment. Breathe in slowly, then breathe out. Do this 5 times. It calms your body and clears your mind.
Tip 3. Limit negative news and social media. If something makes you feel sad or angry every day, it's okay to take a break.
Tip 4. Move your body. Stretch, walk, dance, anything. Even 5 to 10 minutes helps reduce stress and boost your mood.
Tip 5. Speak kindly to yourself. Don't say, "I'm a failure." Say, "I'm learning," or "I'm strong, and I'll get through this."
And here's a bonus tip. Create a feel better list. Write down things that make you smile like music, a favorite movie, or a peaceful place. When you feel low, choose one and do it.
These tips don't take much time, but they build emotional strength over time.
Start small. Try just 2 of these today. See how you feel.
Remember, positivity isn't about being happy all the time. It's about choosing to care for yourself every day, even when life is hard. Before we wrap up today's episode, we just want to say thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. If you're listening right now, it means you care about your growth. You're trying to stay strong even during hard times.
And that's something to be proud of. Life isn't always easy, but your choice to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep showing up, that means everything.
You don't need to have all the answers today. You don't need to be perfect. Just take one small step, one kind thought, one positive action.
Remember this: you are stronger than you know, braver than you feel, and your story is still being written.
Every tough day will pass, the light will come back, and so will your smile.
So keep going, keep believing, and always remember you're not alone. We're walking this journey with you.
Thanks for spending time with us today on Personal Growth Talks podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.